What's good? It's your boy, JayThat'sMe. So, on Thursday, January the 18th, 2024, Kazuchika Okada has become a free agent. He will be finishing up his final dates with New Japan Pro Wrestling in February. I think he's going to do, 2 or 3 dates with New Japan. But after that, he's going to be a free agent. So, Okada really has 2 choices. I know people are going to mention TNA, but I don't see Okada going to TNA. I mean, there's stuff that he could do there, but again, TNA to me is not a good fit. They are going a step in the right direction at the moment, but once again, it's because of them being on Access TV. That's the problem. So Okada is going to be sought after both WWE and AEW. Now, if Okada decides to go and sign with AEW, well, then he's basically just going to be in the same spot that he was in. And what I mean by that is he's already faced so many guys on that roster. He's faced Kenny Omega. He's faced Bryan Danielson. He's faced Jon Moxley. He's faced Will Ospreay, who's coming into AEW in February. So he's faced those guys. He's also faced Jay White. So, again, he really wouldn't be doing much of anything different. And, if he were to sign with AEW, Kazuchika Okada would be used for a couple months, and then Tony Khan may book a match or two on, like, a Collision or whatever, where he's, on Collision in, like, an 8-man tag or whatever, where he's just doing these random things, And he would just be a guy basically on Collision. He would be on Dynamite every so often. He might even do a Rampage here and there as well, on occasion. But personally, Okada, if he went to AEW, he would just be just like everybody else. He would just be mid. He really would. Okada is 36 years old, so he's still relatively young, but he would also be locked down to a 5-year deal with AEW. Because Tony Khan would instantly sign him to a 5-year deal. He'd be 41 once he got out, and he would be not really much use to WWE if he were to go there when he's 41. Just stating the facts and being honest. Now, on the flip side, if Okada goes to WWE, it's very, very intriguing because Triple H is in charge. And I think Triple H would probably treat Okada as a big deal. I do see him being a world champion in WWE. I don't mean having the WWE championship that Roman has. I mean what Seth Rollins has right now, currently at the moment. That's what I mean by being a world champion. I could see him being very successful on the main roster. I could definitely see him being an IC title, US title guy. Maybe even win the tag titles a couple times with Nakamura, which would be great. But the matches that he could have and the guys that he could work with are endless. You have AJ Styles, you have Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Karrion Kross, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. So, I mean, you have tons of guys that he could work with. Logan Paul also. You know, there's a lot of guys on the roster that he could work with. Also, you could even put Okada in NXT for a little bit. Maybe about a good, 6 months. Because Nakamura, when he came in, he had to go to NXT for a little bit. Put him in NXT for, 6 months and let him cook. There's guys that he could work with, like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, guys of that caliber. So there are guys that he could work with down there as well. And I think Okada, if he wants to go to WWE, now is the best time to do it. Now is the best time to do it. It's the best time to do it because he would get so much exposure behind him, it would be unreal. And if he wanted to transition out of wrestling one day, he could because WWE has the tools to provide that for him. Whereas Tony Khan does not. He doesn't. And I think Triple H would treat Okada very, very well. Like I said, he probably would have a Brock Lesnar type schedule. We wouldn't see him that much. Maybe at the Big Five, obviously. Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. So the Big Five, he may show up at like a B-level pay-per-view, or maybe at like a Saudi Arabia show where they go there. He might pop up there. I think that'd be pretty cool, interesting right there. So I think that would be great for Okada. And like I said, the matches that he can have in WWE are endless. They're basically endless. And in AEW, those matches, we've already seen them. And there's just no point, seeing those matches. It's just not important, if we're being honest. But personally, I do think if Okada wants to make a name for himself and Okada wants to be on a grand national stage, then WWE is the way to go. If Okada just wants to just have matches, have a little bit of creative freedom and all that, and come and go as you please, then AEW is the way to go for him. But personally, I really do hope that Kazuchika Okada does decide to make the jump and go to WWE. I think that would be great. I think that it would prove to himself that he can actually be successful on national television, where you will always have a big audience, no matter whether you're on Raw or SmackDown, at a pay-per-view or a live event. WWE right now is extremely hot right now. The product is lit. It really is. For the most part, it's lit. It is. I'm not gonna hold you guys up. It's lit. It's really, really good shit that's going on in WWE right now. And I do think that Kazuchika Okada will more than likely sign with WWE. I know he said in interviews in the past that he does want to work at WrestleMania, and that's one thing WWE can provide him with. Whereas AEW, all they have is Wrestle Dream, and all Wrestle Dream or Wembley would just basically be is just AEW just going to a stadium show. They'll never have the WrestleMania at all. That's just what it is. Wembley will never be a WrestleMania. That's never, ever going to happen. It'll never happen. It's just not going to happen. It would just be... They don't even have a WrestleMania if we're being honest. That's just AEW. What Wembley is just AEW just trying to just do a stadium show just to see if they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that getting out 70K people is bad, because it's not. It's actually great. It's good. But it's just, in the long run, it's just not that big of a deal. It's just not. But I am very, very interested in seeing where Kazuchika Okada goes. And this is great. This is excellent news. I just hope that Okada does make the right decision. I think the best decision would be for him to go to WWE if he wants to better himself and have structure and everything else. But if he wants to just, wrestle with his friends and make a good bit of money doing it, then AEW is the way to go. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think that Kazuchika Okada will end up? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.